Hey, how you doing, everybody? So, I guess we're gonna start off this way. We're just waiting for, I guess, last two people to have their seats. We're putting all the onus on you guys. I guess that's how this is gonna go. Just give us a couple seconds. Sorry. So, before we start, I'm not going to make anything about the two of us. Neither of us are important in this conversation here. But it's actually going to be the four people sitting in front of you. So if we can all start by introducing ourselves at the end of the table.
Just name
and the role you're going for.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline, and I'm running for president.
My name is Katie Lowe, and I'm running for president.
My name is Matthew Hernandez. I am running for Vice President of External Relations.
And my name is Tori. I'm running for Vice President of Internal Affairs.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. So we're going through things here based off the schedule that we provided for the candidates on our left-hand side. We have a few more people, so we're just going to take a break here for a second.
Cool, so I think we're good.
Everybody's being settled in. For the people who just came in a little bit late, it's okay, no problem at all. We have Madeline DeCorso and Katie Lowe, Kathleen Lowe, going for president. Katie Lowe is what she's going with. So we're going to go with Matthew Hernandez for Vice President of External Affairs and Tori Bellwood for Vice President of Internal Affairs. So, like I said, the schedule that we've gone by and that the candidates have gone by is 2 minutes each of opening remarks. We're going to give them a few questions where they're going to have a 1 minute reply to, two prepared questions that we've created for each position individually. And at this point, we would then open up the questions to the open forum, where the gallery is then allowed to ask any questions that they see fit based off the position. Excuse me.
And none of the questions that we're going to be asking them have been provided to them ahead of time. So these are live responses.
Exactly. Everything that they ask is based off of improv and based off of what they know and think about the position that they're going for. Then they will be given 2 minutes each of closing remarks. If anybody has anything to say now, please say it now, or any ideas or anything like that. Or forever hold your peace. No. Okay, so we're going to open the floor. We're going to go from right to left at this point. So Tori, you will begin for us, where we will ask you to give 2 minutes of opening remarks. If you don't take the full 2 minutes, that's perfectly fine. Just explain why it is that you believe, and everybody else understand this, why you believe you should be getting the election for the position you are going for.
I'll also start counting you down. You have 10 seconds left, and then this will let you know when you're done.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Tori. I'm a third-year student in the Leadership and Organizational Management major. So a lot of you might know me, some of you might not. So probably all of you are asking, why am I qualified for this position? So I've been part of the College of Business and Economics Student Association for 3 years now. They are my family. This team is my family. This team is the core of my university experience. So I've always worked as part of the marketing team, but this has only allowed me to learn the events that I've been showcasing and promoting inside and out. So I've worked with a few other establishments on campus as well. Right now I'm working with the Great Canadian Sales Competition as an ambassador. I'm also working as a peer helper with CBESA through entrepreneurial programming. So these have allowed me to gain a lot of skills in regards to academics, team management, time management, etc. I'm in a management career, I guess you could call it. I'm in a management role in a job off campus as well. I work in sales. I'm opening my own office this summer. And just working with that and the experience with that has also given me a lot of skills and opportunities that I feel like can be directly applicable to this role. So it's also given me a lot of insight towards academic programs. Working with the management part that I have off campus, we work with a lot of universities as well as a lot of high schools. We hire a lot of university students and high school students. So I've gotten an experience of talking with them and working with them through people all over Ontario and Quebec over the last year. As Vice President Internal, I just want to be an exceptional coach.
10 seconds.
I want to be a supporter of the directors and managers that I work with, and I just want to fill in the gaps where they need me most. So thank you for your guys' consideration, and I really hope that I can count on your support.
Was that my mark?
That was right on 2 minutes. Perfect time.
Perfect. Hey everybody, as you know, I'm Matt. I'm the chairperson currently on the CBESA. Why I think you guys should vote for me for the Vice President of External Affairs. As everybody should know, this is my first year on the CBESA, and I guess the presidents now saw fit that I should lead an executive role, and that gave me the opportunity to learn the ins and outs of every single portfolio every week during all of our exec meetings. And I feel like that provided me with a lot of background knowledge to be able to guide the VP position. But why VPE instead of the VPI or the Vice President Internal role? My heart's in marketing. I've done marketing internships. I'm a people person. I work at Starbucks, so all I do is make lattes and talk to people. It's great. And so I think that those two are very crucial, I guess, points to make as to why I should be VP. Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool. Katie?
Cool. Hi everyone, my name is Katie Lowe. I'm a third year tourism management student, and currently I'm the director of events on the CBESA. I've been part of CBESA for 3 years, but before that, I actually came to Guelph from Vancouver. So when I came to Guelph from Vancouver, I actually didn't know a single person. I had 0 friends. So I joined CBESA after the boat cruise, meeting wonderful people like Ashwin, Arvin, lots of upper years who were really welcoming and super nice to just meet and talk to. And I thought upper years were supposed to be mean. I thought they were supposed to be scary, they were going to haze me, all these kinds of things. But after the boat cruise, I realized that, this seemed kind of cool. So I joined CBESA and got to make some great friends and wonderful peers. I also got the chance to do a lot of incredible things that I never thought I would be able to do. So performing a flash mob in the UC with 30 other people, traveling to Winnipeg of all places for the National Business School Conference, where I was able to take away really valuable information and bring that back to improve our business school. So I want to really give back. Ultimately the reason why I want to be president of the CBESA is I want to lead this team, and I think I have all the experience it takes, and I really want to give back to this family, this group of people that have really made me feel welcome when I was an outsider and I didn't know anyone. So I really hope I can count on you guys for support, and thank you for listening.
All right, Madeline,
Okay.
floor is yours.
Thank you everyone, first off, for coming out this evening, and thank you David and Ashwin for setting this up. I know my leadership skills and experiences have equipped me to be a great president. My previous work on the CBESA as executive assistant has given me a unique perspective, and I am confident in my abilities to work with all types of individuals in order to achieve success. My time on the varsity golf team has deepened my understanding of being part of an effective team, and I'm very honored to be a Griffin. I want to build for the future, work for the present, and honor the past. I would like to share my 4 core values of my campaign with you. 1, teamwork. Success in an organization is based on having the best people in each role. I believe I have the skill to not only place people in the correct roles, but motivate each team member and provide leadership that builds confident people. I believe in leading with people rather than at people. 2, growth. The past and current CBESA members have done an extraordinary job in creating the brand and community of the CBESA. As president, I would strive to grow and continue the success of current initiatives as well as create new ones. 3, sustainability. As president, the decisions of the team would be ones with the future in mind. I would also ensure effective succession management for transition by reevaluating current methods, implementing efficient tools such as standard transition documents. 4, respect. I believe in order to be an effective leader, one must embody respect at all times, not only for their fellow teammates, but for the entire university, the public, and other universities alike. I am a strong believer in participative and transformational leadership. If elected, I would collaborate, brainstorm, and include my team in order to make effective decisions. Respect is key. My platform is built on 3 key pillars: incoming, current, and alumni, and I'm very excited to share those with you. Thank you.
All right, so in the past, we've taken a different approach to how we're going to be asking the question that's going to go to the entire group. However, we've prepared 2 situational-based questions where we would actually like to ask the candidates to leave the room and come in one at a time to explain their answer to the situational-based question. So for that reason, I would like to ask all the candidates to leave one at a time, if that's possible, and then we'll be beginning with the Vice President of Internal Affairs to be coming back. No, after, to be coming back. So I'm going to prep the room, if that's okay. We're taking a different approach to this, mainly because we feel, I feel it's a little bit more effective. All right, good stuff. So, everybody in the room, we will be asking 2 scenario-based improvisation and leadership questions. We're going to be doing it one at a time, and in total there will be 8 responses because we're asking 4 different individuals the same question. So the first one's going to be based off improvisation. I myself, along with the help of other executives, have created a improvisation scenario to where we're going to be getting a 1-minute response as a group. And then we're going to be doing the exact same thing for leadership based. It's going to take a little bit of time, so I really do hope that the gallery will remain quiet during all responses. So for that reason, Justin, if I can ask you to invite the Vice President of Internal Affairs back in. Tori, please.
Hey, Tori, come on in.
Worked out perfectly. Cool. No, you're good.
Don't laugh at me when I say it.
No, you're good. So we're going to be asking 2 scenario-based questions. Right now, we're just going to start with the 1, and then I will be asking you to send in the Vice President of External Affairs.
Sure.
So this scenario-based question is, in a hypothetical scenario, suppose you are hosting transition with your 2 new elected partners. On the day of transition, 9 people do not show up, to numerous reasons. Suppose they say, I forgot, I had work, I have an assignment, etc. What would you do to hold these individuals accountable? Also, what would you do with the group in the room as the lower number of people affects the number of activities you have planned? You want me to reply? 10 seconds.
Sure. So part of my campaign is actually to improve the transition process, to kind of make it past just that one day and kind of extend it into more like a mentorship kind of program with a little bit more lengthy process. So in order to get the people in the room as pumped up and not lower their morale at all, I just wouldn't even say that it would affect them at all. I'd just be like, hey guys, okay, we're just going to continue as planned, kind of work with things as they come to me, because if you acknowledge that there's a fact that there might be a lower morale, they're going to accept that and they're going to feed into it. So it's really important just to like keep that standard and not lower it. In order to keep those people accountable, of course I would message them, hey, what's up, what's wrong, see if their excuse is valid, and then just work something out with them to try and catch them up and implement that new program with them. And then I'm not going to try and go any further than 3 seconds.
Please don't tell anything if the question is not.
Got it. You want Matt?
Yes, please. BPE, Vice President External Affairs.
BPE, please.
BPE. Oh, no.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, I'm well, thank you. Got to create this question, so it makes me very happy. Like I told the gallery, please don't tell anybody the question on the board when you do leave, but please do send in, to your left was Katie, so please send in Katie after you're done. So this scenario-based question is off improvisation. So please answer the question in the way you see fit. In a hypothetical scenario, suppose you are hosting transition with your 2 new elected partners. On the day of transition, 9 people do not show up to numerous reasons. Suppose they say, I forgot, I have work, or I had an assignment, etc. What would you do to hold these individuals accountable? Also, what would you do with the group in the room as the lower number of people affects the activities you had planned?
You want me to reply? 10 seconds.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify that last bit of the question.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what would you do with the group of people in the room as the activities you had planned are now not for the? Not
Oh, so I can't have that activity now, those people aren't there.
See how you, answer how you see fit.
All right, well, first I would approach every single person at a time and just, it's a situational base. Someone could have been in a car accident, someone could actually be doing their assignment, which is, important because academics before extracurricular. I would make sure everybody has a valid excuse. I'd be quite disappointed, to say the least. But I would be professional about it. I mean, I feel like I'm a really understanding person, so to be able to, hear everybody out first before I make that decision on what to do with the situation. I feel like I would need to know every single situation to be able to act on it, because I don't want to say, okay, well, you're on probation, even though they're just doing their assignments. So I think that's like step one. Step two, like I said, I can't give a proper response without figuring it out, because that's just how I naturally work. Yeah, I'm done.
Perfect. So if you can send Katie in. Yes, please.
Send Katie in.
Thank you.
Interview with
It's
a
fun
lot
to
of
see,
audience.
right? It's fun to see. Everybody's having a good time.
Trim Tucker sends his regards.
All right, Katie. So, like I told all the other candidates and also the gallery, please do not tell Madeline the question that I will be asking. I guess you probably won't have any time, as I would be asking you to send her in once you're done.
Yeah.
So we're asking 2 scenario-based questions. The gallery knows what it is, but it's going to be off improvisation. Just keep that in mind. Okay. So, in a hypothetical scenario, suppose you are hosting transition with your two new elected partners. On the day of transition, 9 people do not show up due to numerous reasons. For example, I forgot, I have work, or I had an assignment, etc., etc. What would you do to hold these individuals accountable? Also, what would you do with the group in the room as the lower number of people affect the activities you have planned?
1 minute reply, 10-second warning.
So in terms of addressing the question of what would I do if these 9 people didn't show up, how would I hold them accountable? In terms of that, this year I know a huge part of our plan was transparency. So our team has worked really hard to document the entire year. All the directors have worked very hard to ensure that their portfolios are really, they've gone through every detail so they know exactly what's in the Constitution, what their jobs require, etc. So we would be able to communicate this with the 9 people who are not here. We would, those positions, well, first of all, you would address them and say, like, why were you not here, etc., find out that information, but follow up with them, whether it's a one-on-one meeting or a smaller meeting after transition period with the 2 partners and president. And to address your second part of the question, what was it again? Sorry.
Please pause. Okay, we're gonna add 3 seconds to that question.
Okay,
Maybe 15
sorry.
seconds for this. But also, what would you do with the group in the room as the lower number of people now affects the activities you had planned? So if we can just and 3, 2, begin.
So with the lower number of activities, I know the activities kind of change every year, but they're always kind of an icebreaker activity. So I would have a list of activities of things to plan, backup activities, and then we would go from there. And the activities would still be a lot of fun.
Sorry, for the sake of time, I don't want to rush you on that. So if there's
Yeah.
anything that you wanted to add to it, I know it's a really weird way to ask you, but if there's anything that you wanted to add to it because I felt like you were rushed, please feel free to do so. Feel free. Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think with a lower number of people, you just have to anticipate that, these things do come up, and as director of events, I have experienced that. So always have a backup arsenal, whether it's a list of backup activities planned, or just trying to figure out as the time comes and just go from there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. So for this one, we'll do the same stipulation.
Should I stay in the front? Sit?
Do whatever you see fit. Do as you please. So the entire gallery knows what the question's going to be. We have created scenario-based questions. This question is based off of improvisation, so you can take that into consideration when I'm asking you. In a hypothetical scenario, suppose you are hosting transition with your 2 new elected partners. On the day of transition, 9 people do not show up due to numerous reasons. For example, they forgot, they had work, or they had an assignment, etc. What would you do to hold these people accountable? Also, what would you do with the group of people in the room who are now affected because of the activities you had planned for the numerous amount of people? 1 minute, 10-second warning.
That's a great question. Well, for transition, I would want to make sure that it is standardized so that there is effective succession management, and therefore, if people were not able to come to that specific day, it would not hinder their ability to be transitioned. So that would take prep work, that would take previous prep work and work with the previous team in order to set that up. In order to not to affect the people, I believe we would have activities that would be able to work with a different number of people. It wouldn't be based on the exact number of people that we have. And I would want it to be a fun day and not have those people who were not there affect the morale of the rest of the team. And I would want to speak with those individuals who weren't there personally and just figure out what went wrong, how we can build for the future and make sure it doesn't happen again in that situation.
So you can send Tori in if that's okay.
That minute went by like really
Really
quick.
quick? A lot quicker than JDC, right? Alright, so for this one, if you do end up going past the minute, we will allow you a couple seconds to finish up your thoughts. So don't feel rushed, get through what you have to do, okay? So this second scenario-based question is based off of leadership. So let me ask the question. Put yourself in the shoes of the person I'm talking about. In a hypothetical scenario, suppose during the summer executive retreat, your director of human resources and your director of corporate affairs are having conflict because they don't see eye to eye. 2 weeks prior to networking night, the same conflict arises. What method would you take? What method would you take to solve this matter as a director of HR is directly involved?
So because the director of HR now falls under my guidance and leadership, sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at things from a different point of view. Maybe their conflict is happening because they have heated feelings and it just keeps getting brought up. So just sitting them down in a calm environment that's just them and one other person, probably myself, and then just saying, hey guys, what is the issue? How can we fix this? Let's come to some sort of compromise, or let's figure out where both of you can be happy if possible, because they can't have that sort of conflict on a team because it's between executives, so it'd be really, really hard to manage. And then maybe if nothing can be solved, remove one of them from the situation and have someone else of equal ability step in, such as maybe myself, or someone else who is directly dealing with the situation. So it's really important to just make sure that they understand where each other's coming from and just resolve it in a calm manner, because heated feelings tend to change what people think.
No, Madeline, not Matt.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Anyway, whatever. Hello. So we're going to be asking you a question based off a scenario, and it's going to be a leadership-based question. So like I told Tori, and like I'm going to tell you right now, is that even if you do see that you have 10 seconds left, please take a few seconds if you need to finish your thought. Okay? So like if it's after the 10-second mark, just be like, don't worry, take a deep breath and just finish your thought however you see fit. Okay? So you have over a minute is what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So put yourself in the shoes of the person I'm talking about. In a hypothetical scenario, suppose during your summer executive retreat, your director of human resources and your director of corporate affairs are having a conflict and they don't see eye to eye. 2 weeks prior to networking night, this same conflict arises again. What method would you take to solve this matter as the director of human resources is directly involved?
Wow, we're pickled. Alrighty. The exec team, what I found, is a family, and so is the full team. And then so I feel like it would be my responsibility to sit them down, not just as, I guess, teammates and coworkers, but as friends and family too. So kind of like my answer last time for the other question. Hear both sides of the story, try and moderate, try and arbitrate it. Honestly, I've done that a lot with my friends. Other than why, like, I don't know, I take a very personal approach on it. I wouldn't, because when professionalism is blocked from personal problems, I feel like that's when you need to sit down and take a different approach to it. So,
Cool.
my answer. I wasn't speaking too broadly.
No, don't worry, you just hit the
Yeah.
10-second mark, you're fine.
Yeah, okay.
If you can send in Katie, please.
Katie, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
It's so warm in here. All right, so like I told everybody else when they left, for this particular question, if you need to take a little bit over the 1 minute mark, that's perfectly fine. He will count down the 10 seconds, but if you need a couple seconds to finish your thought, please take the couple seconds, okay? So this particular scenario-based question is leadership fold, and I'm gonna ask it now. So put yourself in the shoes of the person I'm talking about, all right? In a hypothetical scenario, suppose during the summer executive retreat, your director of human resources and your director of corporate affairs are having a conflict because they just don't see eye to eye. Now, 2 weeks before networking night, this same conflict arises again. What method would you take to solve this matter as the director of human resources is directly involved?
So in terms of solving this conflict between human resources and finance.
Corporate affairs.
Corporate affairs, sorry. I would look at what the HR has written in the past year. So as I mentioned in my previous question answer, that our team has really built a lot of documentation throughout the year and really organized and reworked our policies. So we have a really great system to work off of. So we start with what's identifying the issue, working through the problems together, and because HR is involved, it is difficult to make that decision without go through this process. But as long as everyone understands the problem at hand and we work through it together, following what we have already created in the past, I believe that should address the problem. And if it is before an event, I would take them aside with my 2 other VPs to explain that this is a professional event, and to not let these personal problems get in the way of the reputation and image of CBESA.
Please send in Madeline. So weird to say it like that. Whatever. All right, so just like I told everybody else, now I'm going to tell you, if you do need to take a little bit over the 1 minute mark, that's perfectly fine. He will count down to 10 seconds, but take the extra couple of seconds to fill out your closing remarks.
Okay.
Okay? So this scenario-based question is leadership-based, or leadership fold. So here we are. Put yourself in the shoes of the person I'm talking about. And in a hypothetical scenario, suppose during the summer executive retreat, your director of human resources and your director of corporate affairs are having a conflict because they just don't see eye to eye. 2 weeks prior to networking night, this same conflict arises. What method would you do to solve this matter as the director of HR is directly involved?
That's a great question. So I believe in teamwork, as I said before, and kind of everyone having the same vision. So I would sit the 2 down, first individually, and ensure that they refocus their energy on networking night. And this all depends on what the situation is. If it's extremely serious and they're both being affected too much, I would tell them to take a step back. Maybe they don't need to attend networking night. That's fine. But if it was able to be resolved, I would want them to remember why they're on this team, what their purpose is for their individual roles, and ensure that they can come together and have an amazing networking night.
All right. Okay, so we can actually take everybody back in, and then I think David has a few questions prepared, so tell them when they come back in.
Everyone?
Great, so I think we'll go in reverse order, starting with Madeline over.
Yeah.
You'll each have 1 minute to reply.
So we have a question prepared from the CEO. It's going to go Madeline to Tori. Okay.
Cool. So, what do you plan to do in your role day 1?
Day 1. Wow, that is a great question. Just might take a moment. think about that, don't mind. Day one, I would be very excited. I would ensure that I contact Ashwin and I would sit down with him because of what this team has done this year. I want to make sure that we continue that growth, as we said previously. And I think it is important to utilize the resources that we all have, Ashwin and the previous execs being one of them. So day one, I would want to make sure I am on the same, I have all the information that I can, so that I can be prepared. And then I would share it with the rest of my team that day and make sure we were all on the same page and have the same vision, as I said before. So that is what I would do day one, and I hope that answered your question.
I just have a clarification. Is that day one like with the new team or day one like elected?
Day one will leave for May 1st. May
Okay.
1st.
Okay.
Yeah. Day on that.
Okay.
Cool, so same questions.
So yeah, I would do a happy dance with my team, little dance party. But yeah, like Madeline said, I think it would be really important to speak with Ashwin and also the other outgoing VPs and also the directors, because this year we worked really hard on transparency, documenting what we're doing, constant updates, and just really like taking a little bit of a flashback, look back on the year, what we've done so far. And I really wanted to not only sustain that, but also take it to the next level for the next year. Really revisiting some of the great ideas we have had over the year, some of the speed bumps that we've encountered that maybe we could learn from, and then really talking it out, and then telling the rest of my team, just kind of getting their feedback on what they hope to achieve for the rest of the year, and really making sure that we're all on the same page.
I would make a lot of phone calls. I think I would call Michelle first, seeing as she's the current VPE. I would make phone calls to all the ASO presidents for next year. Something that I would do want to pursue next year is have the ASOs and the CSA have more presence on CBESA. So whether it be like website, social media, et cetera, et cetera. And I would probably start my transition on the CSA. Something that I do want to push for is continue my presence on the CSA board, because I do feel students don't know that they have a voice on the CSA board through us, and I want to make that known as soon as possible, because it is their right, and it'll help in terms of communication both in and out. So that's what I would do.
So I feel like this is a common thread here, but I definitely contact RB. I want to know what he felt went well, what he wishes he could have done, what his regrets were, what he wishes that I would carry forward. I'd contact Michelle, I'd contact Ashwin, but most importantly, I would get together with my new presidential team. I would want to meet with the new VPE, with the new president, and just set our sights on where we're going immediately. Kind of do a little happy dance at the same time, but like you can't take too much time just focusing on the fact that something happened. You just have to begin. So I would definitely make sure that all of the initiatives that are happening this year with the directors and the managers get carried forward into the new year if possible. I would hate to see something just kind of fall down and burn into smoke. So I want to make sure everything's carried forward.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm going to be asking the question to each one of you guys. It's going to be individual-based questions. So one based off your presidential platform, or one based off something that I've heard, depending on what it is that I've read. And I did prepare these questions around, earlier than today. So if anything's changed within your platforms, I do apologize. Please give me some clarification. We won't count it to your time, and then we'll count it to your time after clarification is made. We're just going to wait a couple seconds. No. All right, so I'm going to start with Madeline here. Within your platform, you suggest discussion with high school students by implementing high school talks to attract prospective high school students to the University of Guelph. Now, do you have a plan to reach out to them over the year? That's anything that's concrete.
That's a great, thank you for that question. So I'm from Guelph, so I would first want to use my personal connections within the community to start that conversation. And this plan I have for the high school talks would be one, that an initiative that another team member could definitely do on their own and could grow. So I would first use my personal connections and anyone else on the team, and then it would go to a marketing team member. And I kind of envision it being done in November. This is when high school students are receiving their application, so this would be the prime time in which high school students have this idea, where am I going to apply. And the prep for that, I would start end of August, early September, to build those connections with the high school students. But did I answer your question correctly, or would you like more clarification on that?
I really don't want to go for the sake of time here, but the question that I'm asking more is, let's think outside of Guelph. Let's think of, all the other high schools that are Ontario-based. How do you plan to, it's high school talks, right?
Yes.
So how do you plan to get your students or get a voice heard to all these different high schools across, let's say, Ontario?
Across Ontario?
Yeah.
That would definitely be a large feat to take on, and that would be one that we could collaborate with the Dean's office. I think they do have the resources to reach out across Ontario. They do have recruiters that do go across Ontario already, and forming a collaboration with them would be the smartest way to go about that. So that's how I would want to do that. Also, by not just having the CBESA members, the ASOs involved too. So starting with the Dean's office would be how I would want to go about that.
Okay, perfect. I will extend the same courtesy to the remainder of the candidates. If you do need a little bit more time to explain the question that I'm asking, as it is more in depth to your portfolios, please take the time. If you guys need more time, last thing I want you guys to do is rush your answers, as this is a very important day for all of us. So the next question I have is for Katie. So my question is, the GBCC was created this year, and much of their job this year was to attract awareness. A main segment of your platform suggests increasing external opportunities. What do you plan to develop within the GBCC to formally increase said opportunities? Where do you plan to allocate your team's time and resources?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for that question. So really, this year we formed GBCC. So we got a lot of new opportunities that our Director of Academics found for us. And the next step that I want to take is really raising awareness for the students and getting them involved. That's the question, right? So my strategic plan is to revisit the work that we've done this year, and then find out what appeals to students. So what do students want to do? A lot of them wanted to go to the Ted Rogers Management Conference because it's so big and everyone knows about it. But did you know that there's a fashion and business conference, or that there's a mining conference, or sports management? There's so many people out there who have these specific niche interests, and they're not aware of the opportunities that they have right now. So I think working with marketing research to really seek what the students are passionate about, and directly targeting those, working with the ASOs as well to work to find what the students are interested in. That would be how I market to them, and really make sure that they get the chance to partake in these opportunities.
All right. So the Vice President of External Affairs, Matthew, I have come across your presidential platform. I have a question now that I've made adjusted. If that's okay with the gallery, if I do not formulate this question properly, please tell me to re-clarify if needed.
Yeah, sure.
So, I see that you want to make students and faculty more aware by tightening the bonds of current relations. Now, I just want to know if there's anything that you have concrete to do so.
Tighten the bonds?
I've read it. It says tighten the bonds of current relations, and it's just my curiosity to what it is that you have in concrete to do so.
Yeah. So something that Michelle's doing this year, something notable that she's done this year, is to kind of be that friendly face for the CBESA and for the students. So what I want to do is further, carry that forward and put myself out as like the ambassador as the students. So it's like when I was just a student that wasn't involved in any way, I saw the CBESA as a bunch of suits and ties and Moses. And I'm sure it's the same now, where it's like you are the face of the CBESA. And when I was just a regular student, I don't think I could have approached the president to just talk about anything, and I feel like a lot of students feel the same way. And so what I want to do is create that friendly face, and I guess I want to kind of coin this as like the friendly neighborhood VP. I love my Spider-Man. To give the students a chance to talk, whether they have criticisms or improvements, or they want to get involved. So I want to get that out there through class talks and through social media.
Just a follow-up question, if that's okay. We currently do class talks and social media as one of our methods to tighten the bonds in current relations. I guess my question was more along the lines of how else would you tighten these bonds? I mean, being the friendly neighborhood VP, that sounds awesome. Like it does take a lot of stress off the president, and to be that relation is amazing. But I was thinking of more concrete plans to tighten bonds.
I didn't want to come into this role with a lot of crazy ideas, because so many ideas were brought this year that I didn't want to almost stomp on the ones that are being pursued now. I feel like it's kind of redundant, and I guess I would take things in a different approach. So instead of, I would almost want to lead the class talks. I know that it's my role as the VP to do so, but to be that main person who gives those class talks and puts themselves out there kind of singles out that one person that everybody can rely on. Other than that, to show up to more events, not just within the CBESA and within our organizations like the Accounting Society. Stuff like inter-hall council events, where our student clusters all live in their different residences and go to theirs, just so that way they know my face outside of classes and outside of our CBESA events.
Okay, that was all right. So Tori, Vice President of Internal Affairs. Through your elections page, I had noticed that you have many years on CBESA, but the positions that you have been in the past years, or including this year, are all external based. May I ask why you feel you'd be the best fit for Vice President of Internal Affairs?
I've answered this question many times over the last couple days. I originally was choosing to go for Vice President External because I thought that that's where my experience lied. Then I realized that I am at heart an HR student. At heart, I deal with things internally. All of my experience on the marketing team, I said in my opening comments, has just given me the ability to learn the marketing events inside and out. So I have all of these ideas on how to improve events and change the events because I've already marketed them. I know how to do that. So now I want to take a different approach and change the actual events that I've been working with. I have a lot of experience through external things off of CBESA, working with academics. I have lots of ideas for academics. HR is now working under internal. That is my baby. I want to improve that. I want to help that. And it's just in my heart where I lie. Even though I've been working externally, I've been doing a lot of internal things, and I just feel like I'd be a better fit here.
So just a follow-up question, in terms of fairness, so I've asked a lot of follow-up questions. It's more any concrete plans you have for internal. You say you have a lot of ideas for internal affairs because of things that have happened externally. You have a lot of ideas for your baby to make it better. Just more, hit me with one of each. One concrete idea for events and one concrete idea for HR that you want to make a positive change to.
Great. So one of my experiences through communications managers, being a communication manager this year, was interviewing students and interviewing executives. One of my favorite interviews was someone who actually said to me that the CBESA is unapproachable. And I took that to heart. I really did. I feel like the CBESA should be an extension of the human body and not separate. So that really led me to come up with the idea that events, there need to be more micro events. There needs to be more sociable, open forum, come and hang out with us. We're not in suit and ties, come and have coffee kind of thing. So I want to implement some events where we're using the new business building. Every Wednesday, we're going to be here. Come and chat with us. We'll tell you about electives we liked. We'll tell you about how our classes are going. We'll give you advice for your upper years. When it comes to HR, I'm an HR student. I love it. So I want to change things like I love the fact that BILATs have been implemented this year. BILATs are personal one-on-one meetings where you get to talk about goal setting and how your year has been going. I want to implement job analyses. I want to implement formal, structured, this is what I do, here is how I do it, these are the key competencies that'll help with hiring, that'll help with transition, that'll help with holding people to accountable standards while they're working throughout the year, as well as performance reviews, right? So those are some of the concrete kind of ideas that I have that I want to put forward.
So it is at this time where we would like to open the floor.
Yeah.
Open the floor to any questions.
Feel free to direct them to roles specifically or just in general.
Also, please do state your name prior to asking the questions.
And your favorite color.
I like that.
I'm Alex, I'm colorblind. I actually have a question for both Katie and Madeline. What, theoretically, you're both running, or you both get the presidency. What do you each respectively want? I didn't mean that you're both co-presidents.
Yeah.
All right, anyways, I'm sorry. What do you want your legacy to be at the end of your term? What do you want people to remember you by?
We'll start with
Yeah.
Katie and Madeline at this point.
For sure. So one of my main platform point is being more inclusive. So like Tori mentioned, more approachability. I've had the opportunity to work with lots of international exchange students, students who don't speak English, students from a marginalized background, so different race, different religion, and a lot of them have told me that they really want to get involved in the business community and in our events, but they don't really know how it works, maybe they don't speak English, so they don't know the resources that we offer. So I really want to make sure that by the end of my term as president, hopefully if I'm elected, that people see CBESA as not just this club of cool kids, you know, suits and ties, that we really are an extension of the student body of business students, and that really everyone is welcome, and we can really work together as a team, and that will put Guelph on the map for sure.
I do agree with everything Katie just said. Those would be wonderful legacies. However, I would go in a little bit of a different direction. I would hope that by the end of my term, I never hear someone say, Guelph is a business school. I've heard that before, and it hurts me a little inside. And so that would be part of it. I want to ensure that people know who we are and the value that we can bring, not only to other students, but to employers and to the world on a larger scale. And that would be my legacy. Thank you.
Yes, Chantal.
Hey, so I'm Chantal. I have a question for, I guess, all four of you. I know a lot of the times that you guys have all these ideas as, you know, presidential candidates, but what would you do if, for example, one of your directors underneath you had a completely different idea of where they wanted to take the role, kind of as they have a little bit more of a hands-on approach to their team that they have picked? How would you go about kind of resolving that issue?
We'll start with Matt.
Cool. Yes. So this was actually.
We're gonna go this way. So like Matt, Tori, and then Madeline, Katie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's weird, but yeah, we do.
Hey, whatever works, right? I've thought about this idea. I've been in a lot of group projects where we don't all necessarily get along. I guess the key emphasis is to find the middle ground. You know, what works for them, what works for me, and figure out. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you kind of look at it on those. What are they called? Those like graphics you use in class. I actually know this. Anyways, sorry. Venn diagrams. Figure out where we meet. Meet each other in the middle, and then kind of work outwards from there, and kind of like approach our ideas differently to kind of like show, oh, like this is a good idea, or like, oh no, like this is a horrible idea. So.
Can I add a follow-up for everyone as well, just kind of to incorporate in the question? So I guess the second half is if you absolutely hated their idea, would you ever veto it completely?
No.
No?
Because I would have hired them to do that job, so I would have that trust instilled in them to be able to get that job done correctly, even if it's the way that I don't necessarily see it.
Okay. So if you could just, did anybody need a repetition of the initial question then to follow up? Okay.
So I am a strong believer in teamwork. I am not really the type of person to ever just say, hey, this is my idea, my way, the highway, we're going with it, don't care. I incorporate brainstorming into a lot of my platform ideas. I incorporate other people's ideas. In the end, I am the one who is influencing the hiring decisions. Like the executives and the presidential team is making these hiring decisions. And if someone's in a role, they're in that role for a reason. They're probably an expert at it. I am just really a facilitator. I am there to fill in the gaps. They are the ones doing the hands-on work. Yes. So okay, maybe we'll take our ideas and we'll kind of collaborate them. But in the end, if their idea is completely separate from mine and it completely clashes mine, they're probably the ones who are completely hands-on experts. I'm there to facilitate, I'm there to fill in the gaps, I'm there to do whatever I can to assist them. So I would just do some sort of compromise and figure out a way to make both of us happy, and that's that.
Madeline?
Oh, yes, thank you. So to kind of echo what Tori said, I'm also all about teamwork, and this person would be hired because they were the best person for the job. That would be the ideal situation. So if they want to take it in a different direction, by all means, we would listen to what they have to say. But most importantly, does their new direction, is it the most beneficial for the students? That is who we're here to cater to. Therefore, that is the benchmark that we'd be setting. That's what we'd be comparing it to. And if I completely hated the idea, it would again come back to which one is best for the students and best for our organization. So I would essentially be out of the equation. I would again be just a facilitator, and that is how I would deal with that situation. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of similar to everyone's responses. I mean, we all seem like we have the same idea. But something that I would bring into this is that at the beginning of the year, ideally we would have set a goal. So whether it's with director of events or director of finance, corporate, whatever, there's usually an end goal that we're striving for, whether it's more students to attend the event, more sponsors, etc. And I would sit down, talk with them, listen to their idea, and evaluate whether or not it's achieving that goal. If it's not, and if it kind of detracts from it, then maybe we would sit down and say like, hey, like why are you interested in this idea? But I would definitely listen to them, and since I am the facilitator, I don't want to push people to do something that they absolutely hate, otherwise they're not going to be great at their job. I mean, we've all experienced that in our own lives. But essentially, I can bring my experience of being a director of events to this. Bringing essentially, like what I do is I bring a blueprint of an idea to my managers, and then I ask, okay, here's this thing that we need to accomplish together. How do you guys see this happening, and how can I help you achieve it? So that would be kind of what we're trying to go for, and if we all agree on the same end goal, then that's how we can achieve that.
Michelle? Sorry, you want to say your name?
Michelle. I have a question for Matt. So you've had so many great ideas so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens if you're elected. My main question is, how will you define that you've been successful? Like, what are your measures of success? Because a lot of ideas, I'm gonna do class talks, I'm gonna do social media, they're amazing and they're concrete, but how are you gonna know that what you've done has been successful, and so that it's tangible to move forward?
A lot of happiness. So the ASOs finding a lot of students are going to them for their resources and for their opportunities. Our students getting their word out to the CSA. If there are issues, I hope there won't be issues, but if that's the case, our students coming to us about that. Our sponsors on like our Commerce card, are they happy? Oh yeah, I should probably mention this, but the VPE position is in charge of the director of the corporate relation portfolios and the marketing portfolios. So I haven't spoken too much about the sponsorship, but are the sponsors happy with what we're doing? I guess with their discounts on our Commerce card, are they happy with the students that they talk to at our networking events? So just, I guess I can get a lot of feedback from the people that I would be catering all of my ideas to.
a question in the back, yeah?
I'm Arvind, I'm from UTI. I just had a question for Tori, obviously. So when you talked about your platform, you talked a lot about how you're really involved with the HR position and that is your baby. But at the same time, there's a position that you have to do with academics and events as well. So do you have anything concrete in terms of how you're gonna change what's being done right now, or something you want to continue, or some kind of concrete plan for both these positions? Because that is a very important part of CBESA.
Academics and events?
Events, yeah.
So for academics, the thing I want to focus on the most is the mentorship program.
Mm-hmm.
I was a mentee my first year, and it was good. It was good. I just felt like it could have been so much better. The students don't really realize what is available to them, and I kind of want to team up with marketing more, with the director of academics and marketing, and just push that mentorship program to its full capacity. So that's what I really want to focus on, tangible heart, with academics. When it comes to events, I mentioned a little earlier, just focusing on a little bit more informal stuff. So, hey, come and have coffee with us. Hey, we're not as scary as you think we are. That'll increase event turnout. It'll increase the type of students that come out. And we'll also hit a different niche market of students. We're seeing right now that students that are coming out to our events are outgoing, involved, and like us. So I want to hit those students who are scared of big groups and they just want to come out and maybe talk to us. I want to hit those students who really are scared to go out of their comfort zone and just bring them in and be like, hey, we are you. We're not separate from you. Does that answer your question?
Maybe two more. Two more questions. Oh.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, please. State your name.
Taylor. I have a question for both Madeline and Katie. So they're kind of like individually, but they're the same question.
Sure.
So both of your roles are kind of opposite. Like Katie, you're super hands-on, you're super in charge. Just because I know I'm under Katie, so I know like she likes to do things. Like it's kind of hard for me now that they're kind of like, no, like you let us do this one. Versus Madeline, you're very behind the scenes. Like you're not telling anyone like you need to do this, and this kind of thing. How are you guys going to transition the roles that you're currently in into being like your president position?
Okay. So basically you're saying like I like to manage a lot, and how am I going to be able to step out of that and really manage a full team and without trying to like push, like get too involved? That
Well, just because like I know the president, you're kind of like you're above the manager or the directors. So being a director of events, you are very in charge. Like you like to be very hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the president, you're not as hands-on of a position. Like how are you going to change
For
that?
sure. Great question. So for the rest of us that don't know, Taylor and Natalie are my event managers currently. And at the end of the first semester, I sat down with them and I asked, what am I doing well, what am I doing not so great? And one of their, not criticisms, but one of their feedback for me was that you do too much. You need to like step back and let us do some of the work, which is great. But so I didn't realize that I was doing too much work, not doing too much work, but being overly involved in the process. So I sat down and I said, hey, like that's a great thing for me to work on. So what we developed is a plan that at the beginning of at each meeting, we sit down and we make a list of the things we need to do, each individual task for each event. So this way it holds everyone accountable, and they are volunteering to do the task, and they sit down and they figure out when they can do the due dates, or when they can complete it by. So it's more run by them, and I can kind of just facilitate it. So really striving to work towards being a more facilitator role.
Thank you for the question. I feel that it won't be too much of a transition for me. I do feel ready for this type of role. And currently, I do see myself in a more presidential role in external things that I am doing. So currently, I am the team lead for the Great Canadian Sales Competition, and that is a lot of delegating and facilitating my team, as well as I am a coach for an intramural ice hockey team, which is a lot of fun, and that is, again, letting my team play hockey, and then I am the one who is running the lines, essentially, kind of to put it in an analogy form. So I feel very ready for this, and I don't believe it would be. My exec assistant role has allowed me to work on a lot of hard skills, and I believe that I'm ready. So Thank you.
So for the fact that this was just presidential focus, we're actually going to allow 2 more questions. We have Spencer asking one and also Meg. Spencer, do you need a couple seconds?
No, I'm good. My name's Spencer. So I realized after working on CBESA this year, there's 3,000 business students. You know, our Instagram page has like 900 followers. We have like 150 on social media. And I just want to know, like, the students who don't want to get involved in the entire CBESA, how will you make them get involved? How will you make CBESA attractive? What is one concrete thing you're going to do to expand it to the entire 3,000 students?
Francis, to all 4?
All 4.
Okay, so we're going to start with Tori then, and then move down that way, if that's okay.
Not force them, that's what I'll do. The most important thing when it comes to people getting involved is that they don't feel pressured. We'll talk about this in my closing comments, but I just really want to give people the opportunity. If I tell people that it exists, and I tell people that this is how they benefit, I tell them what's in it for them, I can appeal to as many different audiences as I can and work the team as best as I can to make sure that all of these little branches are being hit. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So if people don't want to get involved, that's okay. That's them. I just want to give everyone the same opportunity and the same chance.
I don't have any horse analogies. It's funny because I feel like all of us are going to talk about opportunity, but it is something that I do want to focus on, which is why I want to do these class talks and get involved with CSA and get the ASOs out there. Because I kind of want to almost hand out all of this like association knowledge almost on a silver platter, because I feel like a lot of students say, oh, there's 2 types of students at our school. There's those who want to get involved and those who just don't care. And being, I guess, almost both of those, because I wasn't always involved. You know, I was busy with sports. I was busy, you know, studying, I guess. I was studying. I kind of lost my train of thought just thinking 1 second. I was thinking too much about studying. Anyways, no, I just feel like it's not true that there are just those 2 types of students. I feel like there are people who want to get involved that just don't have the time to. So if I give that equal opportunity to every student, knowing that it's there will be in the back of their mind. So if they do decide they want to get involved and they just suddenly care all of a sudden, well, they have that chance.
Yeah, so quite similar to what's been already discussed, I really want to make sure, as one of my platform points, that everyone's included and everyone has those opportunities and the same resources. So I would further break it down to why people want to get involved and have these opportunities to target these different groups. So everyone has different reasons why they become involved. Whether it's they want to gain skills like public speaking, they want to make new friends, what I said. You know, and if they're really looking to show their school spirit, maybe they'll join the social team for JDC or something like that. So it's really about seeing all the different reasons why students should get involved, not that they have to, just that if they did choose to, you know, work on their public speaking skills and stuff like that, that there are opportunities out there, and whether they're short-term or short-term like case competitions or just volunteering for an event, or long-term, so working for a year with CBESA or other different organizations on campus.
At this time, I don't believe there's one concrete way to attract and allow all 3,000 people to want to participate. However, we have made such great strides as a business, as a college of business, and having the business building will be huge for us. It will be one place that we can congregate that I know all students will be proud to go to, and I think that will really be a good step forward to having more people involved. All the information will be there for them. It will be easily accessible, and I think once we see the initial effects of the business building itself, we can take strides from there to work forward to reaching out to more students. So I think we can't be one concrete idea. We're going to have to see what happens in the future. Thank you.
So we have have one question here. I guess we'll just open up the door to the floor. Ryan, that's a win.
That's an ash?
No, we will be taking up the full extra 25 minutes. We have a question to my right. Please state your name.
My name is Megan, and I would like to address this question to both Matt and Tori. So I am a transfer student as well as a business student, and within my first year of being at Guelph, I was really lonely. Luckily, I got to be involved in CBESA, so that helped me meet other business students because meeting people in class isn't always going to happen. They think you're weird. So I would like to ask is, how do you go, for Matt, how do you go about marketing to those transfer students to let them know about the other opportunities that are out there for them so that they don't feel lonely, or to let them know that they have a family? And then for Tori, for the people who aren't on CBESA, what can we offer to those people to help them meet other business students as far as events?
This will be 1 minute.
Alright, do I go first since you suggested
Yeah,
first?
that's what I was
Alright, well, luckily for me, this speaks to my heart. I came from the University of Waterloo, so I'm a transfer student. In terms of getting us out there for the transfer students, I would approach, I think the acronym is OCUS. I haven't talked to them in a very long time. The off-campus student group. I was guided there because not only am I a transfer student, I'm also an off-campus student. So I didn't get the chance to be in a cluster or meet people in the residences. So that's an amazing idea to go to OCUS and I guess spread word there. You know, make sure that those students know that we exist. During O Week, there was a few transfer student events, and hopefully I can attend those to be able to reach out and say, hey, like these events, come with me. I live abroad.
This is actually in my platform too. I did another interview during my time as communications manager this year, and he was a transfer student, but he wasn't coming from a different university. He was coming from a different program. So I really want to make some sort of program, collaborate with academics, collaborate with marketing, and say, hey, let's come up with some sort of tangible thing that when they go to transfer their program and they say, hey, I want to be in business, they can say, congratulations, you're now a business student, here's this. It'll tell you everything that you have resources to, that you have access to. Here's a mentorship program, I know you're new to the business, maybe you should try this. Hey, we're having a coffee shop, maybe you should try this. So just those like kind of informal, as long as they're informed, those transfer students and those people who are coming from different programs, then they're going to want to come over and kind of get to know us and meet us.
All right, so I have a few questions prepared for them for right before their closing remarks. Each one is going to be a minute and at most a minute 5. So you got to be quick with your answers. You got to be spot on, as it is already 6:38. So this time I'm going to be starting from Tori to Madeline. Last time I went from Madeline to Tori. So for that reason, Tori, you explained a lot about how you want to expand the mentorship program. However, underneath the Director of Academics, there's also the GBCC. Supposing that things actually do continue on with the GBCC, how do you plan to expand GBCC?
So just this last year, my career outside of school has offered me the opportunity to go to a lot of conferences. Like I'm talking one every month and a half. So I just started realizing how important conferences really are. So my plan is very similar to what's already kind of been said about GBCC, is showing people exactly what is out there. They don't know. They don't know that they can get funding through the school. They don't know that that it's really easy to apply. They don't know that this stuff, they have fashion conferences like was mentioned, and they're not aware. So it's kind of just expanding the GBCC in a way of saying, hey, there's more than just Apex, there's more than just Ted Rogers, there's this available, and here's how you do it. Do you need help? We'll help you. Come and see us. Come and sit here and we'll tell you how to format your application. We'll make a meeting with us and we'll mentor you through your application. So.
Per gallery CBESA is the Guelph Business Conference Committee. If you did not know, now you know. All right, so my second question does fall to Matthew. You explained in the middle of what you were saying that you've specified a lot on external basis of marketing. Then you said I haven't touched on sponsorship. So I would like to ask you, how do you plan to instill motivation in inquiring sponsorships as you have no background in it?
All right, so here we go. Minute 5? Cool, I should be quick about this. This kind of goes into it, so just bear with me, but I kind of want to change the structure of how the corporate relations team is managed right now, and that includes bringing in a new position called the corporate research manager. So what they would do is help do the background work with the corporate relations manager. They're both the same acronyms. I don't know what to call the research manager. I will just call him the research manager. To be able to give the corporate relations managers focus on maintaining and building the relationships with potential and current sponsors. So whether it be what new sponsors should we go to? Here's a spreadsheet of all the current businesses around Guelph and in Guelph that cater to either the Commerce Card or the or event sponsorship. They would basically be the one putting all the data, so that way the corporate relations managers can focus on maintaining that relationship.
All right, so Katie, I've heard a lot of talk of international students. It's actually something that I created prior to. So in your presidential platform, you reference how you'd like to include all students in the CBE. This includes international students and students from the other side of Canada or throughout Canada. You explained that you want to create an avenue that is easily accessible. My question to you is, how do you plan to implement these easily accessible avenues?
Yep, so currently, for those that don't know, you probably received this in your first year. You get a mail-out package from the CBESA, or CBE. Tells you all the different resources we have and opportunities at Guelph. I would make sure that all these students receive this, whether it's in the mail or when they first arrive at Guelph. And with the new business building, there would be a centralization of the information available to them. So not only would this centralized information be relevant to students who are from Ontario or from Canada, but perhaps we could have, in different languages, or have the people have a better relationship with the international program and their office to really make sure that they redirect their students to us and make sure that it is accessible, whether it's in different languages or that's something that they're interested in. For example, if you come over here from China and you're studying hotels, like what kind of resources are available to them, so that sort of thing. Making sure that the resources are applicable to the students who are arriving from different backgrounds.
All right. So Madeline, I have a question for you as well. I wrote it backwards, so I'm going to ask you backwards. Are you aware, within your presidential platform, your third point is discussing the Guelph Chamber of Commerce. My question to you is twofold. Are you aware of the relationship that we as a CBESA has had with them in the past? And two, what value do you see with the Guelph Chamber of Commerce?
That's a great question, thank you. I have not heard of any past relationships with the Guelph Chamber of Commerce, which is what brought me about to this platform idea. So I can see this as a very beneficial part of our organization. So they host many events in the community, and ways that we could benefit from this relationship would be, first off, we would have a stronger tie with our community, which is very important to me, and but more tangible, could lead to potential sponsorship for us and opportunities to meet face to face with the people in our community. Perhaps they have children who are starting to look at universities. Perhaps they will see how professional we are by attending these events, and that could inspire them to, Guelph does have a good business school, great business association, and I think it is an avenue that we should even consider for this semester as well.
Cool. So at this time, we'll be moving into closing remarks. For this, we'll actually have you all leave the room and have you come in one at a time to deliver your remarks. So,
Thank you very much.
step on out. Thank you very much.
Again, we'll be starting with
I'll just stay.
Thank you to our Doris as well. Thank you to our, there we go. Thank you, I have experience doing this at a conference recently.
Cool. So for this, you'll have 2 minutes. I'll give you the same 10-second warning.
Yep.
1 second. Cool. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, so I'm aware that at this very moment, I will not make Guelph business prestigious. Just by me being a part of it, I can't just be part of it and be like, oh wow, look at Guelph business. But maybe in the future. But what I can do right now is focus on the student experience and especially student mentality. So I can change the attitude of what students have here, how we view ourselves and how we represent ourselves. So just yesterday, I actually had a student come up to me and talk to me. She's applying for jobs downtown Toronto, and she isn't even applying for them in fear that other business schools are going to beat her out, higher tier business schools. That isn't helping. It's not helping our situation. What will make us the business school, what will put us on the map, and what will make Guelph business be known is how we represent ourselves. So we can be persistent, we can strive for excellence, we can be consistent, and we can just be present. So by going out there and participating in conferences and taking part in competitions and excelling with our student-run organizations, excelling student initiatives, we will be heard. Okay, so when we apply to those top tier jobs, when we apply without fear, and then we land them, and then we excel in them, that is how we prove ourselves, okay? So when we need to go out and we need to show people what we can do, and we need to do it without any fear. I want Guelph to be known for the respect of our students. I want Guelph to be known for our preparedness. I want us to be known for our positivity, and I want us to be known for our consistency, and I want us to be known for our results, okay? So I want to give students the toolkit to be successful. I want to give them the opportunity to be confident, and I want to give them just the premier opportunity in general. So I hope I can count on you guys for your support and to let me lead you into this vision and dream that I have.
And make Guelph known for its kindness.
Please, yeah.
Right on.
Let Matt in on your way out. Thank you. Saying it quietly.
I brought special guests and food.
Library, what is
Oh my goodness! Please, everybody stand up. This is our dean. You're going to hear our future president speak. It's going to be fantastic.
From Alumni Affairs and Development. He helps with fundraising for college.
So everybody on the live feed knows our current dean just walked in. Her name is Julia. So you're going to be hearing good things.
Is that Paris?
There you go. All right, Matt, the floor is yours once we have quiet in the gallery. Excellent, please.
So 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Closing
All right,
remarks.
thank you. So a lot of us touched on logistical things, and right now I just kind of want to focus on my heart. Because when I came here from the University of Waterloo, completely brand new, fresh start, you know, I wanted to make a change, I wanted to get involved. But the moment that I stepped on campus, it felt like it was the right place to be. I felt proud to be a Griffin, finally stepping on it. So I come here all the time swimming, but like being an extra student here just means so much more to that. But it wasn't until I joined the CBESA that I felt right at home. And so I want to give that opportunity and reach my hand out to students so that way they have the opportunity to find their place in this association and call family. And so I hope that you vote for me for Vice President External Relations, even if no one's voting against me, just because I believe that I can give back to this association after all it gave to me. So.
If you can let Katie in.
All right, I'm taking my cookie in.
Hey, no worries. We got snacks for a reason. We have Katie for presidential candidate.
I'm just gonna stand because it's the last.
Sure, it's easier, whenever.
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes, perfect. So, as you know, my name is Katie Love. Thank you all for listening to my platform. To go over that again, it was including all business students, so internationals, marginalized groups, and really creating more opportunities for students, whether that's internal or external opportunities like going to Winnipeg and traveling and seeing all these cool places and working with new people. Just to kind of close things off, I'm just really lucky to have this opportunity to be standing up here today. I was very lucky to have mentors like Ashton and Karen. They were my street team managers when I was in first year. So I watched them grow. I watched them grow as leaders, and I aspire to be just like them. Sorry, I'm getting kind of emotional. It's just really awesome to see how much we've grown throughout the past 3 years, and I really want to keep that going. I want to keep that momentum going. It's going to be sad to see you guys leave, those who are graduating, but I want to keep this legacy going of CBESA growing and really putting us on the map, Guelph Business School, and continuing to see first years. I was able to speak at the first year yesterday at networking night, and she was telling me that she was so keen to get involved, and she asked me, all these different student organizations, like which one can I be a part of, and I told her any of them. The world's your oyster. Like Guelph is your oyster. You can go for any of these positions, and we're really fortunate that way that our school's growing, and it's got a lot of great things happening ahead of it. And so, yeah, thank you for listening to my platform.
Please send in Madeline. You ready? Everybody, this is Madeline, presidential candidate. Whenever you're ready, please, the floor is yours.
Matter, you have 2 minutes.
Oh, 2, okay. First, I'd just like to say thank you all for coming out this evening. I know it's dinner time, but now we have food, so that's great. The University of Guelph is not only my school, it is quite literally my home. I live about 5 minutes away. My mom went here, my older brother went here, my younger brother goes here. It is a part of my family, and I am so proud to see what has been done so far in the business school, and I'm very excited to see where it goes, and I know that I am ready for the presidential role. My leadership experiences have equipped me with the skills to do so. I'm very excited to see where we go. I want to build for the future, help with the present, and honor the past. Thank you so much for being here this evening, and I hope I can count on your support. Thank you.
You can actually get them all back in, Justin, if you don't mind. Spencer's out there just socializing.
Maybe this event he's like signing out when he's around Seacrest.
Things hurt now. It's okay, it's okay. So I want to thank everybody in the gallery right now, and also all of our candidates. Those were all phenomenal answers, and you know what, they were great questions too. You guys have to think, oh, hey, where am I? I was pointing at them. But you guys have all put so much out there that honestly, just on its own, you guys deserve a vote. You guys deserve to be heard because of all the things you brought to the table. Regardless of whether you get it or not, taking the step this far to becoming who you are today, to sit in front of a room of what I want to believe is Guelph's business greatest minds. You guys on your own, so if everybody could just give them a round of applause. And it's because of people like you that one day, if it isn't already, that Guelph's going to be a force to be, traveled with. So good job on you guys. I'm very excited to see what happens next week with the voting days. It's going to be interesting. We will find out before you guys do, so that's going to be hilarious. No, I'm totally kidding. It's going to be great. Send out the emails. It's going to be a good time. All right, so thank you again. Everybody, please have Julia speak
So
for a bit.
I just wanted to quickly thank all of you for your hard work, everything you're doing to build this business school. I just couldn't be more grateful for your efforts and your energy. And it's exciting, isn't it? Like we really are creating something amazing together. So for those of you who have been in roles and stepping out of them and people competing for new roles ahead, just know that I'm personally so proud of all of you. And, well, look at all these lovely faces. Now I'm gonna cry. But, you know, Jason and I were talking earlier about, you know, where we're at in the business school and some of the amazing conversations we're having with people who want to support us financially and help us, you know, take things to the next level. And here we are, this year it's our 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Right? And video going, and of course we're going to be moving into McDonald Hall. This is huge. This is huge, and you know, I can hardly wait to welcome you all to, you know, into our new building, into our new home, and to see all the really neat things that we're working on developing. I want the whole building like to scream learning and community, right? Not just in classrooms, but kind of like how we've tried to do in this space, right? Where learning's happening everywhere. And to give all commerce students that place where they can really call home. So, but you know what? I couldn't be bringing the money to the table to help us make these dreams come true if you guys weren't giving me the amazing stories that I get to share about all the things that you're So thank you from the bottom of my heart, right? And we truly are in this together, and good luck with it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing, guys. I really, I'm getting emotional. I don't want to think about the fact that this is almost done. But you guys are definitely free to go. Guys, great job preparing.
Great job carrying, by the way.
Yeah, you told me, right?
Thank you so much for everyone who tuned in tonight, and this is going to be up on our YouTube channel. If you want to come back and look at it again, then you can definitely do that, and I encourage you to do that. And don't forget to vote next week, because that's how you have your say. And I'm not sure if I know how to turn this off.